Hi, everybody. My name is Sienna, and I have chosen to talk about social media within the classroom for my final project. So I am going to be sharing my screen and my PowerPoint. Um, the first thing I wanted to touch on is why I chose to do social media. Um, I just thought it was really interesting since it's not usually a topic that you would see being used in a classroom. You don't usually see your students on social media in the classroom as much as you would doing regular traditional forms of learning. So, with my research that I've done, I've learned that social media is considered to be a new form of learning, again, since it's typically used for entertainment purposes rather than educational. And it has a lot of educational, social, and mental benefits for the students since it helps them form a better, deeper relationship or connection with their teachers just on a more personal level. Um, and it just simply aligns more with their lives and the present time since social media is something that they frequently use on a daily basis. Um, of course, with using something like social media within the classroom, we are going to be presented with possible challenges or some issues. So, one of the issues that I found to be specific to me and my kids would be that it could be a huge distraction in the classroom. If students just aren't using it the right way or they're not on what they're supposed to be on, things like that. Um, there's a loss of confidence sometimes if a student posts something on the internet and they receive negative feedback, that could be very problematic for them. And bullying is something that we always have to look out for within a school, and especially bringing social media into the classroom. That's something we should be aware of before doing so. But I think that if we can express clear rules and guidelines, expectations, things like that for our students, then we could sort of avoid those challenges even just a little bit. And just the transition of going back to regular work, like reading, writing, like paper, using paper for their work, projects, research, whatever it may be, could be difficult for some students. Um, but luckily, in this case, there are a lot more pros than there are cons. So using social media in the classroom definitely helps students better their social skills since they're able to communicate with people from all over the world about various topics that we might not be able to talk about in school or show them at school. Um, and it is a way to teach them how to use new technologies. So, for some of my students who have difficulty with their fine motor skills, there is speech to text, note taking applications, and those I've tried in my classroom, and they have been very helpful for my students who do struggle with their fine motor skills. Um, and of course, social media is going to be more engaging for our students since, again, it is something fun for them, it's interesting to them, and it's exciting for them to use. So, bringing that into the classroom would definitely be a huge benefit. Um, it encourages their freedom and independence, just giving them that opportunity to kind of take their work in their own control type of thing, which is really important for all students of any age. Um, the internet, of course, has unlimited resources as long as they're appropriate. I think that that's really great for them to be exploring and using on their own. And it simply just tailors more to their interests in general because they are young and being on any form of technology is exciting for them. Just a few of my own personal thoughts before I decided to choose this topic. Social media in the classroom is not something I ever thought of using, but again, after the research, I found that there are a lot of positives to it, and it's definitely going to be something I do try to use in my classroom. And I just felt like there would be more problems than benefits until I did research and I found that it will be really exciting for them and just get them more interested in whatever they're doing. Um, So with that being said, I did more research on how I could bring this into the classroom appropriately, and I found that, just in-class supervision constantly, if they are using social media, is a must. I mean, that kind of goes without saying since they are on the internet and we should always be cautious about what they're doing. So that's a big thing. And just limiting their usage so that they know that using any form of technology or social media in the classroom is a privilege and at some point during the day they are going to have to go back to regular traditional forms of learning, and just getting them to be able to transition back to that is something that we need to be aware of. Um, I think a really big thing is not allowing any photos to be posted just for privacy purposes, bullying, and just, taking inappropriate pictures of students, of themselves, things like that should be avoided completely, in my opinion. And again, just introducing the clear guidelines and expectations for your students before bringing this into the classroom completely. And just a quick summary of everything that I found. Social media is definitely a scary thing to bring into the classroom, but I think if it's making our students more excited about learning and we are giving them a safe place to practice using social media, then we should be trying to do that for them. Um, I think since it does allow them to have more freedom and independence with their lessons, that's always a great bonus with any resource that we use in the classroom. And as I did research, I found that a lot of students use this to practice technology skills that they might use later in life, which is great. And it just allows them to explore in their own ways with things that interest them or pertain to them more, and kind of take their learning into their own control. And here are my references. And that is it. Thank you.